The former mayor of Rochester, New York is in town tonight defending the man Rahm Emanuel wants to put in charge of Chicago's public schools. Bob Duffy talked about the tenure and the exit of Jean-Claude Brizard, who was hired to head the schools in Rochester while Duffy was mayor there. Political editor Mike Flannery spoke with Duffy exclusively tonight. And Mike, great timing for his visit, yeah?
Well, that's right, Robin. He is, in fact, now the lieutenant governor of the state of New York since January. But the former mayor of Rochester told me that he fears Chicagoans have been misinformed about Jean-Claude Brizard, the man behind our current public school drama. Duffy says Brizard had to cut to balance the budget of Rochester's troubled schools, even as Brizard was making big changes that were opposed by leaders of the teachers union. That, Duffy says, caused the union, led by its longtime president Adam Urbanski, to vote no confidence in Brizard.
But I am a little concerned and certainly am embarrassed by the fact that people like Dr. Urbanski and others in Rochester are going out of their way to embarrass Superintendent Brizard here in Chicago. It's uncalled for. It's unfounded. People are disappointed that he is leading.
Is he anti-teacher?
He is not anti-teacher. He is an educator. He is somebody who is a great role model.
Is he confrontational?
Jean-Claude Brizard is a strong leader, but I would say he's not confrontational. But he's somebody who will, if he believes in something, certainly will hold his ground. You know, he is such a good person. I mean, I think the world of the man, and the characterization of him as this blustering leader who steps over teachers is absolutely unequivocally wrong. And I'm embarrassed that his associates in Rochester would do that.
Still, longtime Chicago schools watchdog Linda Lenz thinks Brizard must move quickly to explain exactly how he plans to make things better for students, parents, and teachers.
Yeah, because he's talking about he will make the tough decisions. If you care about education, educating kids, you need to do more than make tough decisions, though. Ultimately, it's up to some 25,000 teachers and the people in the community to come together to improve schools. So the tough guy approach, yeah, you know, that only goes so far.
Linda Lenz says that it is going to be critical for Brizard and his boss, Mayor-elect Emanuel, to keep focusing on the big picture, to tell the public and the people in the schools about how things will eventually improve. Because before they get there, they're going to have to deliver a lot of bad news in the months ahead. Lenz says that with a budget shortfall of up to $800 million, it's likely that among Brizard's first big announcements are going to be the closing of schools, the elimination of some jobs, and maybe Mayor Emanuel is going to be talking about a property tax increase.
Well, if all the pre-negative publicity will either make him a pleasant surprise or
right. Lowering the threshold.
Lowering the threshold. The other thing is that he's really got to come in and put his head down into the numbers. He comes from a system with 32,000 kids. We got, 430,000. Any word about how his
It's a big change
style?
in scale. And one of the things that the former mayor of Rochester, Bob Duffy, told me, Robin, was that if he were to fault Brizard on one thing, if he were to look back and say he should have done something more, he said he wished Brizard had gotten out into the schools, out into the neighborhoods of Rochester, a pretty small town, more than he did. And that's one of the things he says that he ought to do in Chicago right away, get out into the local schools, meet with parent activists, talk to the teachers.
Same thing Michelle Reese said was her only regret in D.C. schools was not engaging parents more. So
I think when you're making changes and you know that you're going to get a lot of guff if you show up on the street, maybe you're inclined to kind of hide behind the desk, but that's not going to work.
No, it's not. Hopefully. We wish him certainly success. It means success for all our kids.
You bet. We all need it. We can't afford a failure.
Right.
Rahm Emanuel has named as Commissioner of Human Resources. She is Deputy Inspector General Sue Choi. His choice drew praise and a slap at Mayor Daley. Choi's current boss, Inspector General Joe Ferguson, released a statement with two distinct messages. The first says Ms. Choi has served this office and the public well. And here's the part that references the mayor. To turn the page on the sorry chapter of patronage in city employment, Ms. Choi will require the full institutional and public support of the incoming mayor, something not afforded the most recent occupant,